We would like to invite you to watch the English news on the essential television channel The Night Province. Ladies and gentlemen, commemorating the 49th anniversary of the complete liberation of the South and national reunification, April 30th, 1975, April 30th, 2024. 49 years ago, the 1975 Spring Trail Offensive and Uprising ended with the victory of the historic Ho Chi Minh Campaign, completely liberating the South, reunifying the country. The North and the South reunited as one nation. That was also the end of more than 100 years of Vietnam being occupied and divided by foreign countries. The victory of the resistance war against the U.S. to save our country is the victory of personal patriotism of our people's desire for peace, independence, freedom, and national unity. The victory of Vietnam's military policy and art under the correct, ingenious, and creative leadership of our party. It is also a victory of the combined strength of the great national unity bloc, of the absolute loyalty and determined fighting and winning spirit of the People's Armed Forces and the great and effective help of international friends. The great 1975 Spring victory is a heroic page in the great history of building and defending the country of the Vietnamese people, completing a glorious historical mission. That is to completely liberate the South, unify the country, bring our country into the era of independence, unification, and together build a socialist Vietnam, rich people, strong country, democracy, fair and civilized. At noon on April 30th, 1975, the tanks of the Liberation Army marched straight into the Independence Palace. In the courtyard, the soldiers welcomed peace in their own way. The fall of the Saigon government was inevitable. The whole country was filled with joy of victory. The aspiration for peace and unity that the whole nation has been waiting for has become a reality. People all over the country that day rushed to the streets to welcome peace with indescribable joy. When airfare prices increase, the trend of traveling to nearby places, traveling by car or personal vehicle becomes the choice of many people. Like every year, tourist locations in The Night Province continue to be the destinations chosen by many people. This year's April 30th made the first holiday last up to 5 days, so tourist destinations in The Night are ideal places for tourists to spend time experiencing, exploring, and immersing themselves in nature. At Giang Dinh Waterfall Ecotourism Area, Trang Bom District, a picnic spot with cool green space, the entrance ticket price has not increased compared to normal days. So many families choose this place to rest, eat, and entertain. To best serve the needs of residents and tourists, in addition to existing tourism products, the tourist area has deployed many activities, entertainment programs, and food courts to meet the needs of residents and tourists. Currently, The Night is one of the destinations chosen by tourists in the provinces of Bình Dương, Long An, and Ho Chi Minh City because The Night has many ecotourism destinations with beautiful scenery. At the same time, tourist areas pay great attention to renovating the landscape to make it more new and attractive to visitors. This year, the purchasing power of these holiday tours also increased by about 20 to 30% over the same period. It can be seen that with increased demand, the 5-day holiday is a golden opportunity for the local tourism industry to launch new and attractive products to attract tourists. The mechanism to adjust the average retail electricity prices was issued by the Prime Minister, effective from May 15, 2024. In case the calculated average electricity selling price decreases by 1% or more compared to the current average electricity selling price, Vietnam Electricity Group EVN is responsible for reducing the average electricity selling price by a corresponding level. In case the average electricity selling price needs to be adjusted to increase from 3% to less than 5% compared to the current average electricity selling price, EVN decides to adjust the average electricity selling price to a corresponding level. In case the average electricity selling price needs to be adjusted to increase from 5% to less than 10% compared to the current average electricity selling price, EVN is allowed to adjust the average electricity selling price to a corresponding increase after reporting and receiving approval from the Ministry of Industry and Trade. In case the average electricity selling price needs to be adjusted to increase by 10% or more compared to the current average electricity selling price or affects the macroeconomic situation based on the electricity price plan dossier submitted by EVN, the Ministry of Industry and Trade presides over inspection, review, and sends comments to the Ministry of Finance and relevant ministry and agencies. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken said that on May 1st, he will have a discussion with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu when he visits the country. According to Mr. Blinken, during his visit, he will also track the progress of implementing commitments on the humanitarian situation in Gaza previously made by the Netanyahu's government. Speaking to reporters on April 30th while visiting Jordan, Mr. Blinken said, "I may go to Israel tomorrow and discuss with Israeli officials what still needs to be done to ensure that people have what they need." Mr. Blinken said he would also track the progress of implementing commitments on the humanitarian aid station for Gaza that the Netanyahu administration previously made. The inspection comes about a month after U.S. President Joe Biden said that Washington's policy towards Israel would change if the country did not take effective action to address civilian harm in Gaza. Russian officials said on April 30th that Ukraine attacked the Crimean Peninsula with a U.S.-made Army tactical missile system, ATACMS. However, since ATACMS missiles were shot down by Russia. In a statement, the Russian Ministry of Defense said 10 Ukrainian unmanned aerial vehicles, 6 ATACMS tactical missiles manufactured by the United States, and 2 guided armored aircraft bombs manufactured by France were shot down by air defenses. The Russian Ministry of Defense did not specify where the accident took place. Meanwhile, Sergei Aksyonov, head of Crimea, said the ATACMS missile was shot down on the peninsula. Russian MP Leonid Ivlev, who served the Russian Air Force, said Ukraine attacked air bases in Crimea with 12 ATACMS. You have just watched the English news on the Essential Television channel of the Nile Province. Thank you for joining us and goodbye.